At ease, brothers. Brothers, this morning I want to talk about a critical part of the mission, man. I want to talk about a critical part of us accomplishing our goals. I want to talk about the journey, and not just the journey in its, in full. I want to talk about a specific portion of the journey where I personally feel the majority of men cease to move forward, right? I'm always saying, man, that the most important thing that a man must ask himself on a daily basis is, who am I, where am I going, and what my truth is. Like, you have to understand, man, that if a man is traveling the path of any sort, trying to accomplish any goal, financial, health, relationships, whatever, like these things are critical. Like, this is his roadmap. This is his light. This is his foundation. This is his compass. You know what I'm saying? To get to that end goal. But you have to understand this, brothers. At some point, those tools will no longer help. At some point, who you are, where you're going, and what your truth is will have run its course. And every man has to understand that. Every man has to understand that, because you got to understand this, brothers. When we talk about accomplishing a mission, when we talk about quantum leaping, when we're talking about experiencing some way of life that we've never experienced, right? You have to understand that the reason you're not already experiencing that or haven't experienced it already is because it's not a portion of your truth. So we can travel the path as long as we can to get there, but you got to understand, the whole time we're traveling, like we're still not fully that person that's going to experience that. Of course, every day we're waking up, we're grinding, we're traveling, we're forgiving, we're letting all these things go. Then we get to the point of the path where we can feel ourselves getting closer to it because our daily rituals are matching up. That's when we start becoming beacons. That's when that old world will come see you every single time. The women, the situations, the scenarios, they're coming to see you every time. But once a man has mastered that, once a man has shown himself, once a man has shown his source, that, you know what, like, okay, that world came back to see me, and I'm no longer entertaining it. And he goes past that point. At that point, a man is at a place of no return. At that point, a man is in a very funny place, man. Because at that point, a man is in a vestibule. Let's call it that. Where if he goes back to the old world, is not the same. But at the same time, he's not fully equipped to move to the next world. So like in a singular truth, man, that's why I say a man he's standing at the edge. He all he can do is look at this vast ocean in front of him, knowing fully that his mission being accomplished is him getting to the other side. But again, his truth doesn't know how to get there. So now he's at a standstill. And again, brothers, this is where a lot of men, simply just due to a lack of not understanding what's taking place, this is where a lot of men either will live stagnant their whole lives as half-truthers, understanding how to win, but can't go back. A lot of men will spend their whole lives in this vestibule, man. But I'm gonna talk about today, man, how to get past that, right? When a man gets to this point of the journey, brothers, you have to understand, again, like I said, man, the tools, the who you are, the where you're going, the what your truth is, this is where it's no longer needed. This is where it's no longer needed, man. At this point, a man should completely stop planning and seek only the frequency of his vision. I'm going to say it again, man. At this point, when you've traveled as far as you can go, when you got to the point where you say, Soul, man, I've tried to start this business. I've been working on myself. I've been doing all these things, but now I'm at a standstill. Like, at this point, I don't know what else to do. My money, my health, every situation, I don't know what else to do at this point. All that means is you've reached the edge of your old truth. So at this point, it's not about planning anymore. It's about only seeking the frequency. Because see, what a lot of men will do at this point, they will try to plan their way across that vast ocean. You know what I'm saying? Like they'll look and see the prize on the other side, and they'll try to say, okay, well, if I can take these bricks and do this, in other words, if I can take all the information and experiences I've had on this planet, I think I can devise a boat to get me over there. But you can't. It doesn't work like that. That's the point where a man has to surrender and say, you know what? I don't fully understand how to get there. That's when the spiritual process, that's really when a lot of what we read in the Bible growing up takes place. It's just that we didn't know how to interpret it back then. Huh? That's when the marriage really kicks into a whole nother gear, brothers. In other words, man, this is when you have to really understand the difference between, not the difference. This is when you really have to understand your makeup. You know what I'm saying? Like what you're made of, like your true dynamic. This is when a man really has to understand that he's both physical and spiritual, and in full control of both of them. Like I always say, man, your Jesus didn't live 2024, give or take, years ago. Your Jesus is alive and well right now and is a part of you. This is the part where a man has to understand this is where it's like this, man. Like I'll see my son playing this game, man. I'm not sure if it's I'm not sure which one of these games it is. But when he's a soldier, he can be playing as one soldier. Maybe it's I don't know the name of them games, right? But he can be playing as one character and he can do something. And the next thing you know, he's on the other side of the screen as the other character looking at his old self. You know what I'm saying? That's what a man has to understand at this point. To get across those vast waters, a man has to understand that. Whatever you call that in the video game world, that's what a man has to understand. This is the point, man, where you abandon your ego. You abandon this physical self and you submerge yourself in that Christ side. You submerge yourself in that spiritual world. And it's in your Bible. It's in your Bible. Even when Jesus said, hey, you know what? Okay, we're at the end of the road. I go to prepare a place for you. Where I go, you shall be there also. That's what that's breaking down, brothers. So at this point, it's about you to get to that final goal, man. It's about you submerging yourself in your spiritual world and going to the other side. Going to the other side to experience that. Going to that, you know, when I talk about times, man, where I'll spend hours a day meditating, you know, like that's what I'm doing. I'm pretty much abandoning my ego self. I'm submerging myself in my spiritual world and living over there. In other words, it's like, you know what? I can do no more here. Let me complete the mission by going inside of my mind and experiencing it. Because that's where the new truth is formed. The old truth is no good no more. The old truth is trash at this point. Now a new truth must be established. But a new truth can't be established in the physical world. A new truth can only be established in what is real, in constant energy, in God, in the spiritual world. So that's when you abandon the ego, man. Go into that spiritual world and experience it, bro. You live it. You walk around, you roam in that world as if you own it. You tap into universal mind. You get new information. You get data. You know what I'm saying? You study it. You feel that vibration. What is the ego side doing back there? The ego side of you back there on a daily basis is still going through the motion. It's still acting as if. You gotta understand, man. When we talk about this whole creation process, brother, it's the most beautiful thing, man. Because it takes. I'll say this, and I say this all the time, man. You have to understand, man, that to bridge the gap between the worlds, your spiritual and physical, is simply about matching frequencies. It's simply about stopping time. It's simply about finding that constant energy. So as your spiritual mind is going into the spiritual world and experiencing a thing, your ego side is going through the motion, acting as if. Even if a man doesn't understand we talk about this all the time. Even if a man doesn't understand how the outcome will be accomplished, he's still going through the motion, acting as if it's already accomplished. That's how you bridge the gap. That's how you make it. That's how you make it 72 degrees in both rooms, by making one frequency, by stopping time, right? And then when your Bible talks about the return of Jesus, you have to understand when your Bible talks about, I go to prepare a place for you, it ain't talking about going and creating a heaven in the next life. I don't care what they say. It ain't talking about going to create it in the heaven in the next life. It's going to create that new world, right? And when your Bible talks about the descent of Jesus to come back to do whatever, people say that Jesus is supposed to do when he returns, it's not talking about coming back and bringing everybody up back to the heavens. It's coming back. It's coming back accomplishing the mission. It's coming back fulfilling the mission. That's what your spiritual side is doing then, brothers. In other words, you're roaming, and y'all can all identify with this, man. When you're roaming and you're just acting as if in this ego world, you're sitting there meditating, you're going through the motion, you're accepting that new reality, and all of a sudden one day you have a grand idea. You might be out walking, you might be sitting there cooking, you might be cleaning, and just boom, you like, an idea has hit me. This is what I need to do for the business. This is what I need to alter myself to make myself more attracted to women or by women. This is what I need to do to get ahead in life. We call them downloads. That's the return of your spiritual side saying, you know what? Since you're matching my frequency up here, since I'm up here experiencing this world and you're matching my frequency, now I can come back between two worlds. I'm going too heavy for y'all, man. I gotta get off the gas because I understand I'm gonna lose a lot of y'all. A lot of this I can't talk about with everybody. I know a lot of y'all probably saying Soul is tripping, man. But I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, when you find yourself at a standstill, it's no longer about you planning. You can only plan for so much. Your identity, your truth, your direction, all that is good, but that only serves a man that's traveling. When it's time for a man to transcend, all that is done, bro. We have to stop planning at that point, man, and only seek the frequency. Only seek the frequency, man. Game changing, bro. Game changing, bro. So all I'm saying is this, man. And I know that this is a conversation, man, where I can stay on this mic probably for another 3 or 4 hours and really talking about it. But all I'm saying is this, man. Don't when you find yourself stagnant, don't get frustrated, bro. Don't get frustrated with saying, you know what, man, I'm looking around and I see everybody else accomplishing their missions, man, and I'm grinding. I'm getting up every single day and I'm working. I'm going through my ritual. I'm doing everything right, but now I've hit a wall, man. Stop planning at that point, brothers, and only seek the frequency. Only seek the vibration of the end goal, man, and watch God be God, bro. Watch your higher self, be that. Watch the symphony take place at that point, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's the most beautiful thing. It's the most beautiful dance that you will see take place in life, man. The art of creation.